Here you're required to take a certain number of courses, and then you have to, we monitor your progress through these courses, and then eventually you enter into research. And you know, as far as a graduate assistantship, it's a contractual thing for about 20 hours a week is what we encourage. But if you're lucky enough that your graduate assistantship is also in your research area, you probably will put in a lot more time than that. But it is a difficult time. I mean, it's the interesting thing. You're probably going to work harder right now and in your postdoc than you ever will in your life.
Grad school was 6.5, postdoc was 7. And I was at Tech before then for 2 years, so roughly 16 years after college. People figure out early on that it's not a very rewarding career in terms of having a white picket fence and 2 cars and raising a family. You're not going to do that effectively. Bioscience and biomolecular science requires now national average is something like 6.5 years for a PhD. And that wears on you when you see all of your peers with all the things that you're supposed to have in life and they already have it.
At the national level, from what we found, financial support is probably the largest contributing factor to a student leaving, or in this case, a lack of financial support. We're encouraging all of our programs to raise the rates of their assistantships because that is the #1 determining factor.
Keep in mind, a lot of students are poor when they come out of college because they have student loans. They end up in grad school where they barely make enough to pay rent. And in my case, I did a postdoc in Boston, and we lived month to month and barely made rent there. So there I'm a 35-year-old guy coming up on 40 when I was at the end of my postdoc, and I was in debt and going further into debt the longer I stayed in my postdoc. So I know people who left because of that and decided to get out of the situation.
After I finished my master's in my lab, the lab lost funding, so they couldn't support me anymore because I was working there full-time as a lab technician. It was a week before Christmas, and he says, effective January 1st, we lost all funding, so I'm not going to be able to support you. He said, I'm more than welcome to volunteer. He told me that I should look into working nights and weekends at 7-Eleven. It's a true story.
I do think graduate students have some unique concerns. Graduate students may have a family that they're trying to balance, work, whether it's on campus teaching research or off campus, along with a demanding course load. There can also be some competitiveness among graduate students. There's a lot of demands, obviously, on graduate students, and they really want to excel. They may need to not only impress their professors, but they're thinking for the future.
I really don't care about the statistics. I wanted to do a PhD and I want to be in research. That's why I'm in the program. I think I'm just loving it so far. I really like what I'm doing.
The kind of discipline, the workaholic discipline that you tend to develop in this country, I feel is very, very important. So far, my experience has been pretty good. The value addition that has happened to me over the years of my PhD training is tremendous, thanks to the lab that I joined, I should say. The good thing about graduate school is that they want you to fail, but the failure is in a very protected and a concise environment where the failure won't be that big a deal.
Well, I'm very hopeful. I've always been an optimist anyway. But graduate education, that's what's made our country great, in my opinion. I do believe that's what's given the United States the edge when it comes to technology and development and thinking outside of the box. I do recognize, however, that we do need to better prepare our students for other job opportunities, that there are not enough jobs in the academy. But as far as preparing you to become a competent, capable researcher, I think we're doing a very good job here.
I want to be hopeful because this is what I want to do. I still think that you can make it.